Energy also is a major contributor to climate change, in the sense that when it's burning of fossil fuels or wood or anything, it releases carbon dioxide. And therefore, the more we rely on some forms of energy, we are releasing a lot of carbon dioxide, and therefore the focus on climate change and energy becomes very important. And therefore, the sort of interventions we need today that can ensure that we don't add more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
The area of natural forests and woodlands is quickly reducing in Uganda as a result of change of land use to agriculture and grazing, high demand on timber and fuel wood, and other land uses. By 2009, Uganda's forest cover was 18%, having declined from 24% in 1990. During the years 2012 to 2013, the National Forestry Authority planted 1,487 hectares of trees, entered into 3 partnerships of collaborative forest management around forests, and demarcated 103 kilometers of forest boundaries. It replanted 581 acres of public forest estates and raised 9,257,743 seedlings, and maintained 8,729 acres of central forest reserves. It also harvested various quantities of types of timber. But the question of firewood, charcoal, and energy options still remains a challenge. Biodiversity use is ever increasing, especially for cooking fuel, which constitutes firewood and charcoal. Global energy perspectives are shocking. Richard Kimboa explains the connection of energy and climate change globally.
Energy is a deficit for millions of people, in that few people in the world have access to modern forms of energy, which in a way is the source of poverty, if you look at it in terms of livelihoods. So if people cannot afford to have modern forms of energy, then they cannot cook, their health conditions are not good, the children cannot go to school because the nutrition levels are low, they can't stay in school for long because they can't access studies that require energy at all. So it all rotates around energy, and it rotates energy, and also it affects their level of living, in other words. Energy also is a major contributor to climate change, in the sense that when it's burning of fossil fuels or wood or anything, it releases carbon dioxide. And therefore, the more we rely on some forms of energy, we are releasing a lot of carbon dioxide, and therefore the focus on climate change and energy becomes very important. And therefore, the sort of interventions we need today that can ensure that we don't add more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. There's a lot of challenges depending on which countries. In Africa, for example, the huge challenge of energy is leading to huge deforestation, removal of not only trees but also other forms of vegetation, because people are now running away from firewood and charcoal because the cost is becoming high and high, and therefore they cannot sustain themselves on that, and therefore they're encroaching on even other vegetation, call it animal waste which would have gone into the agriculture, fertilizer, or sort of replenishing the soils. They are encroaching on wetlands to get the papyrus and use them for cooking. They are getting the banana stems, dry them and using them to cook. And in some cases, people cannot even afford to get these products or materials, and therefore they miss their meals. And that also goes to the the institutional level, at the level of institutions like health centers, where if energy in form of power or in form of cooking cannot be availed, then the children who are in the hospitals, the mothers who are expectant in the hospitals cannot be catered for very well, and therefore it sort of affects the level of service they get, and therefore probably it's one of the causes of high rate of mortality for mothers and children in those that cannot afford to stay, that cannot be catered for because of lack of energy. In some countries, of course, there's excess on the other side, where others are consuming quite a lot of energy in form of, they have the houses are well equipped with fridges and the lights are on and everything. And then, so there's a discrepancy in terms of the world, where there's excess in one side of the US and North America, and then you have a huge deficit in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. So this is the world we're living in, of excess and excessiveness, and then there's a deficit on one side.
As a way of adapting to scarcity of cooking fuel, households use hydroelectricity power, kerosene, liquid petroleum gas, biogas, solar and other technologies. Sustainable and clean energy options are solar and biogas. Today, we explore the use of solar energy for cooking and biogas. Do you know that one can cook using solar directly by using parabolic mirrors and aluminium foil? Kiige John Baptist from Ginger uses cooking bags, and he has harnessed energy from the sun, which he uses to cook directly.
The technology we studied after getting the knowledge from certain friends. They were from UK, they taught us the knowledge, and then we started to utilize that knowledge to make these things. These are parabolic mirrors, and they are just imported. And these ones, they use aluminium foil. Those are parabolic mirrors, these are using aluminium foils. So you put your table within your compound. You get a saucepan, you put it here in the middle. So when you put it here in the middle, the saucepan should be painted black so that the black color can easily absorb heat. So here there is heat, and even if you feel there is somewhat temperature in the middle. That's why it is able to do what? To cook. And can cook rice, Irish, matoke, those simple foods, and even baking what? Cakes.
The caution is, to avoid fire accidents, turn down the parabolic mirrors upside down after cooking. To maintain substantial cooking heat, the cooking bag is used. Imagine carrying a bag with food cooking inside it. A cooking bag is made out of insulation materials, which maintains the heat that enables food to cook up to 8 hours. In Kagoma village in Chadondo, Aida Kalule, an adult widow, uses biogas for cooking. She has 3 cows that produce her milk and dung that she uses to generate biogas for cooking.
Kubanga zizala atoba ne bizigenda atera tezirabilikika nyingi inako 3 ezo etazimala.
I received a heifer from the government. I was among the 200 people who excelled in farming. To prepare for the biogas, we dig a hole that is measured to appropriate standards. Then we place the cow dung in it for 3 days. Everything is connected from the dome through the pipes to the cooking area. The biogas produces fire that is blue and burns very fast. The fire burns immediately you strike a matchbox, so you need to take a lot of caution when cooking with biogas. On the other hand, the bioauxiliary from the dung is used in the garden as fertilizer. Here, we produce using a technique called fanya juu. It's a method of soil management and water management. So this fertilizer has enhanced the soil fertility, and I do get higher yields of food compared to the yields I got before using the bioauxiliary in the gardens. Biogas helps me save money on fuel. So the money I save is used for veterinary services to provide treatment for the cows. I get up to 10 to 15 liters of milk a day that I consume here at home. Some of it I sell it, and the others I give to my neighbors. People should use biogas because if people knew how to count the savings, they would definitely choose biogas. The challenge is we don't know how to count and we don't know how to keep records. You can't compare the cost of biogas to the cost of buying charcoal. Charcoal is costly in this village. There are no more trees to cut. Even the firewood used these days is just the twigs of trees, not the strong wood that lasts long at the fireplace. I feel so lucky to be among the 200 farmers who were selected. The Chinese people came and they taught us how to generate the biogas, and they helped me set up this biogas system. I also think I was chosen because I have cows. People should not expect government to give them everything. If you have cows, you benefit from the biogas project. But you can't expect to get cows and then get the biogas project. Everyone should do their part. Because it is a clean energy source, I cook from the house. There is no smoke. Can't you see? Although we use firewood in the outside kitchen, the volume of food cooked with firewood is less. We mostly use the biogas to boil beans and to cook food that takes longer to cook. I'm a little strict with the biogas because it could cause accidents to children who might not know how to control the flames. Solar energy and biogas are more sustainable and should be encouraged. The Minister of Energy explains this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to remind you that the world is faced with major energy challenges. Global energy demand in form of electricity, fossil fuel, and biomass is increasing rapidly, yet the supply is limited. Therefore, there is need for interventions to enhance energy supply and control demand growth to mitigate future energy crises. The reserves of our energy resources, such as petroleum products and fuel wood, are getting depleted. In particular, Uganda is losing its forest cover at an alarming rate, and that is, if no steps are taken, part of the country might turn into a desert. Overdependence on fossil fuels and depletion of green cover has led to global warming, which has adverse effects on the environment. This has marked climate disasters that include prolonged droughts, landslides, and flooding. As such, we need to substitute fossil fuels with renewable energies and control demand growth. Intervention to address energy challenges. To enhance energy security and combat climate change, we must act now, individually and collectively, and create a positive impact. We need to embrace the use of renewable energy technologies to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. We need to use renewable energies to enable us to reduce the carbon dioxide that goes into the atmosphere. This helps to reduce global warming and subsequently climate change. It also reduces our dependence on imported fossil fuels, thus improving our energy security as a country.